Hey everyone, managed to get to the range today after 2 weeks, I think. Might have been 3. It's been a little time, you know. So, didn't do as great as I would hoped, but that's what happens and that's why you practice. So, here's some footage from my today at the range. Range day. It's been a while. That's a nice group with the VP9 at 15 yards. A lot different than the P30L with the 40 Smith. So this is my target from the range today when I was shooting my HK P30L. It's chambered in 40 Smith & Wesson. Most of this was shot at 15 yards. So that was 15 yards. All this mess here was 15 yards. This was 15. I think this was 10. I'll be honest. I think that was 10. This is 15 here. 15 here. Some of that I was happy with, but obviously it's been 2 weeks since I shot. So 2 weeks is 2 weeks, and you're going to see the results of 2 weeks. Definitely dropping a lot of my shots today. That's what happens. That's why you got to keep practicing. This was all shot at 15 yards with the VP9. This was my first magazine. Pretty happy with that, especially after doing the 40 Smith & Wesson. Switching to this gun, that was good, but it wasn't all great. This was a mess. Dropping my shots. It's not too bad. It's pretty scattered, though. This is nice, but 2 weeks of not shooting is what you get sometimes. This is what you get when you don't practice. So one thing I was doing in between, seeing the stuff that I was landing or the way I was shooting, so I would do some dry firing, try to quell that down and see what's going on. And obviously I'm dipping a little, in my trigger pull. What happens? That's why you practice. Now this is how I closed the day with this target. This was a previous target I'd used for my 22. So here you see some 22 rounds right here and here. A couple right here and up here. but I used the VP9 on this, and I'm embarrassed to say that this was set to 5 yards, and I was still dropping shots, even though I was aiming here, landing there, aiming here, landing here. Nice group. Damn nice. I like that group, but unfortunately that's where I was aiming. Same thing here. Not too bad grouping, but aiming up here. Same thing here, aiming there. Same thing here, aiming there. I mean, this was at the end of the day after, you know, a day of 200 rounds with a handgun, going from 40 Smith and 100 rounds of 40 Smith and Wesson to 100 rounds of 9mm. You know, going from one platform to another, one caliber to another, 200 rounds of not shooting for 2 weeks. It was taking its toll on me. But, you know, bad days happen. That's why we practice.